What's going on, gang? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Titans Returns Deluxe Class Highbrow. Now, I've been looking forward to this figure simply because I've never actually had a good highbrow figure. I've only gotten to play with the original G1 figure once in my life, and that was less than cool, we'll say. This figure, however, is so much better than that original G1 figure, and it looks rad. It looks absolutely fantastic. It does have a few minor issues that I'm not sure how to fix, but otherwise, it's a very fun figure. The paint scheme and the overall coloring of the figure is just really nice. And the molding is also nice as well. You can see all the detailing, and the paint scheme is really well done. Even the head sculpt is fantastic. The two issues I have with this figure are more design issues than actual quality control issues. The first issue I have is the head, and it's just too loose. That's fixable with some pledge, but it also is sitting much higher off of the shoulders than I would like, and that is strictly a design issue. The other design issue has to do with the wrists, and that's because the wrists here, the way they transform, are a little bit odd. So as you see, they're pointing straight, but they click out like this, making him look like an anime girl, oddly enough. Very, very odd choice in design. I also want to point out that his chest is very strange. In the robot mode, his chest protrudes like this, but it collapses as part of the transformation. It almost feels like the chest is supposed to open up like the original Headmaster toys did, but I don't think it's supposed to. Posability-wise, the figure is great, even with the blades on his back, which they look like they are supposed to be able to collapse, but they really don't. So, head is, as I said, pretty wobbly, but fixable. Shoulders are on swivels, and then ball joints in the shoulders. The shoulders are very, very tight. Swivels just above the elbow, which are extremely tight. The elbows are tight as well. No fist or ratcheting or turning of the wrist. There is no torso articulation due to the transformation. Hips are nice, tight ratchets, swivels at the thigh, and then well over a 90-degree bend at the knee, and there is some heel articulation for the transformation. So you can get off some pretty good poses. And also, thanks to the nice big feet, the cockpit of his vehicle mode is just sitting on the back. Doesn't affect the posability or the balance of the figure whatsoever. So, A+ job there, designers. On his backside, where his robo-butt would be, just below the Autobot symbol, is a peg hole. And that has to be a peg hole. There's nothing else it could be. And by peg hole, I mean a peg hole for a stand. So you could get Highbrow up in the sky. Of course, by up in the sky, I mean he's off the ground by like an inch or two. Highbrow comes with not one, but two different guns, and they are old-school machine guns, which is interesting. They do fit into his hands easily. They can also be stored underneath the wings in vehicle mode, and they also combine to form a nice little Titan Master Weapons platform. This is some anime super weapon caliber of silliness right here. Highbrow's transformation is simple, but quite satisfying. Remove the Titan Master, and then reach around the top of the figure and grab the cockpit and flip that forward. Then collapse the chest piece, grab the legs, and turn them so that the back of the legs are pointing towards the middle of the figure. Fold up the heels into the bottom of the feet, and then grab the legs and extend them down from the rest of the body. Next, we will grab the fists, rotate them up into the forearms, which I swear every single Titan Master does this. Then ratchet the knees up and around, and the lower legs will actually peg not only into each other, but also into the back part just underneath the peg hole. And that's actually the hardest part of the transformation, is just getting that lined up correctly. Then push the shoulders forward and push the shoulders back, and then the lower shoulders will peg into that peg, and then this peg right here will peg into this little peg hole on the inside of the forearm, right where my thumb is. So just get that lined up, and then we will have probably the coolest helicopter mode I've seen in a while. I don't know what it is about Transformers with the dual prop helicopters, but they are normally very cool. Obsidian is the only one that comes to mind, and then the weird, was it Gyro from GoBots? Anywho, this is a fantastic vehicle mode. Cockpit opens up, and you can drop your Titan Master in there very easily, even if the Titan Master doesn't totally cooperate sometimes. It really, really, really is quite cool. I love just the different coloring you have going on here. Yes, the alt mode is somewhat simple and is very reminiscent of his G1 counterpart, but it looks so cool. And here we find, underneath the cockpit, yet another peg hole. The other thing that this is flipping down a landing gear, but there are no rear landing gears, which is weird. So we'll go ahead and put him on the stand. And you know, Highbrow would look awesome being able to stay on the stand, but there's one little problem. The joint there is not strong enough to actually hold the figure. Had they moved the peg hole to maybe the middle somewhere of the figure, that would have been better. Or even right between the legs, that would have been better as well. As it stands, I'm going to have to figure out how to tighten up this peg to the point where I could just put the stand or the figure on the stand and, not really have to worry about it. I'm just kind of fiddling with it there. And that does work a little bit, but it is very, very wiggly and doesn't sit very solidly, and honestly doesn't look that good either with the landing gear sticking out. Here's Highbrow with the guns that he comes with. I haven't been able to figure out a way for him to actually use the guns in a way that the little wheels act as landing gears, and there's nothing in the directions either. Now in this mode with these guns loaded up, he does have room for more weapons, specifically one slot under each wing, and then he also has slots on the sides of the cockpit. Titan's Return Deluxe Class Highbrow is definitely worth adding to your collection, especially if you're a G1 fan. Yes, there are a few minor issues that are totally easily looked past for what is essentially a great figure. Guys, you should pick this one up. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.